It's an emotional topic. It's heightened by the extraordinary times we find ourselves in. For Jews, the world today isn't just surreal, it's eerily familiar. Despite how intentional we are to ensure the past is never repeated, we're currently faced with hate toward us at an epic scale. And sadly, we've seen this movie before. We know too well how it may end. So to no surprise, we are a people deeply obsessed with survival. Our sensitivity around survival is founded not only in emotion and generational trauma, but actually in data. While we all consider Judaism to be one of the 5 major religions of the world, we are actually only a tiny fraction of the world's population. Buddhists outnumber Jews 33-1, Hindus outnumber Jews 77-1, Muslims outnumber Jews 127-1, and Christians outnumber Jews 159-1. And moreover, while each of the other major religions grew roughly 4 times since 1933, the population of Jews is less than it was 90 years ago. We have still not recovered from our pre-Holocaust population numbers, with only 15 million Jews globally. And why? Why is that? Because we are continually blamed. That, my friends, is what anti-Semitism is all about. It's about blame. Blame for economic downturn, blame for spreading disease, blame for killing Christ or starting World War I, blame for controlling media or financial paradigms, blame for moral and social deterioration. Blame is what forced us to live segregated in walled cities within cities, the origin of the term ghetto. Blame gave rise to Nazism and the Third Reich and the systematic extermination of Jews. Blame has denied us from practicing our religion or even exiled us from dozens of countries since the Holocaust. Blame gives oxygen to organizations, governments, movements that to this day openly call for our destruction. And that blame is indeed unique. It transcends cultures, boundaries, and somehow never, ever dissipates. Not for decades, not for centuries, but for thousands of years. This blame naturally puts us in a defensive posture and somehow requires us to justify our strength, justify our achievement or our resilience. It's tiring. It's tiring for us, individually, collectively, historically. And in respect to this unique phenomena, Jews can be deeply offended and triggered beyond measure when any individual or organization compares the genocide we've endured with tragedy of any form elsewhere, whether deliberate or not. Because our pain, or anybody's pain, cannot be negotiated or debated. Loss cannot be negotiated or debated. Grief cannot be negotiated or debated. The totality of the scope of intent of the Nazis, the goal of killing every last Jew, man, woman, and child, throughout the reach of the Nazi Empire, using the administrative, bureaucratic, and technological capacities of a modern nation state and Western scientific culture, deserves no comparison. Nor does it require us to use that pain as a form of compassion. Yet, remarkably, so many Jews do. Colleagues, many of you remember me speaking at our observance of Yom HaShoah last year, and I spoke on topics that rightfully should make us all very uncomfortable, specifically of the experiments that were conducted on us by the Nazis, the lampshades used from our skin, the gold extracted from our teeth, the dehumanization, the torture, murder, rape, all done with precision and audaciously documented, as if history would reward not only the outcome, but the process that would result in our complete elimination. I spoke of that not only to educate, and certainly not for politics, but for strength. Strength for myself, strength for my family, strength for my Jewish community, strength as we face the past head on, and strength as the only way to survive in the future. I need strength as I remind myself that had the Nazis been successful, I would not be standing here before you. Look around at the Jewish caucus members in here. None of us would be standing here. We would not be here. So do we get triggered when someone tells us to go back to Poland, Or we went from 3 million Jews to 45,000? Yes, we do. Do we get emotional when we learn that most young people have seen Holocaust denialism online and social media? Yes, we do. Do we activate when someone sends swastikas online to our kids to remind us that they are vulnerable? Yes, we do. Do we respond to support and understanding by others that are not of our faith, like so many of you in the chamber today? Yes, we do, on a scale that I can't possibly articulate. We live and teach and perpetually reflect on our past as a means to survive. We gain strength on days like today, supporting each other and feeding off the empathy from the larger community cross-generationally. We remain steadfast in our philosophy of healing the world, but never at our own peril, given the reality that we face. We repeat the words of those that survived to stop the slippery slope of anti-Semitism, so that one day we may also grow the way that other peoples have grown. We say today and every day, never forget, never forget.